Welcome, dreamers, to another bedtime adventure. If you enjoy this story, or if you'd like to hear more, please comment and subscribe so you can get notified when a new story comes out. Tonight, we're diving into a cosmic journey unlike any other. This is the story of a man you know, a man whose voice is as smooth as a Texas sunset and whose outlook on life has inspired millions. But what if I told you that Matthew McConaughey's greatest role wasn't on the big screen, but out among the stars? In this tale, we follow Matthew as he receives a mysterious call from the universe itself. Pulled into an interstellar adventure, he must face the unknown, challenge his fears, and discover the true meaning of existence. So, get cozy, close your eyes, and let yourself drift away into the great beyond. This is The Cosmic Journey of Matthew McConaughey, a bedtime story for dreamers. The Texas night was warm, the kind that made you want to sit outside with a glass of bourbon and let time slow down. Matthew leaned back in his old wooden chair on the porch of his ranch, eyes fixed on the endless black canvas above. The stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across the sky, each one a tiny mystery waiting to be unraveled. He sighed, rubbing the stubble on his chin. Life had been good to him, fame, success, a family that grounded him. But lately, something had been missing. The days blurred together, the same old Hollywood grind, auditions, scripts, interviews. It all felt small. He took a sip of his drink and let his mind wander. What if the universe ain't just something we look at, but something calling us, he murmured to himself. And then, as if the cosmos had been waiting for him to ask, the air around him shifted. A low, resonant hum filled the night. His glass trembled in his hand. His radio, an old thing that hadn't been turned on in years, crackled to life. Matthew McConaughey, a voice whispered through the static. The cosmos has chosen you. His heartbeat quickened. His fingers tightened around the armrests of his chair. A streak of silver cut across the sky, brighter than any shooting star he'd ever seen. It hovered for a fraction of a second, then vanished. Matthew exhaled, a slow smile spreading across his face. Well now, that's interesting. The next morning, he awoke with a sense of purpose he hadn't felt in years. He wasn't crazy. He had heard something and seen something. And if the universe was calling him, who was he to ignore it? He continued about his day, playing it back in his mind over and over. Then, that evening, his phone buzzed. An unknown number. Mr. McConaughey, a deep voice said when he answered. We need to talk. It's urgent. Matthew's brow furrowed. Calls like this didn't just happen. Not to him. Not like this. He leaned back in his chair, twirling his glass in hand. Well now, I get a lot of calls, partner. What makes this one urgent? A pause. Then the voice lowered, steady and firm. Because you saw it, and we know you did. Matthew's grip on the phone tightened. His mind flickered back to the silver streak in the sky, the whisper in the static. He set his drink down, exhaled slowly. All right, let's say I did. What exactly are we talking about? I can't say over the phone, but if you want answers, there's a car waiting outside. Matthew stood, stepping toward the window. Sure enough, headlights cut through the Texas night, parked just beyond his front gate. He let out a low chuckle, shaking his head. Well, hell. Guess curiosity's still got a hold of me. He grabbed his jacket, took one look at the stars, and proceeded to the parked car. All right, stranger. Let's talk. Out stepped a man in a crisp suit, the kind of government type who never gave you a straight answer but always knew more than they let on. Mr. McConaughey, the man said, extending a hand, we need you for a mission. Matthew tilted his head, studying him. A mission, huh? Well now, that depends. Do I get to know what kind of mission we're talking about? The man hesitated, then nodded. Come with me. All your questions will be answered soon enough. They drove deep into the desert, to a facility hidden beneath the sand. When the doors slid open, Matthew's breath caught. A spaceship, sleek, silver, and humming with energy, standing at the center of a cavernous hangar. Scientists scurried around it, their eyes lighting up with awe and terror in equal measure. "We've detected an anomaly in deep space," the lead scientist explained. "A doorway to another dimension. But it's unstable. We need a navigator with a steady mind and a fearless heart." Matthew chuckled, shaking his head. "And you landed on me, huh?" The scientist's expression was dead serious. "You have a way of seeing things others don't. The universe chose you, Mr. McConaughey, and we're just here to help you get there." Matthew had always been a man who listened to the rhythm of the universe. He found poetry in the sway of the Texas fields, in the sound of the wind against his face, in the way time seemed to hum a slow, steady tune. Matthew ran a hand through his hair and let out a long whistle. "All right, guess I better pack a bag." Training began the next morning. The world had no idea that their favorite actor was about to become something much more. NASA-like drills, zero-gravity tests, simulations that twisted his perception of time and space. At first he struggled. The physical toll was brutal. The mental pressure even worse. "You sure about this, McConaughey?" one of the engineers asked after a particularly rough session. He wiped sweat from his brow, catching his breath. "Ain't about being sure. It's about going anyway." Lying in his bunk that night, staring at the ceiling, doubt gnawed at him. What if I ain't the right guy for this? What if I fail? A memory surfaced, his father's voice, warm and steady. "Life's about chasing the experience, son. Whether you win or lose don't matter. You just gotta go." With a deep breath, he made his choice. No turning back now. The next morning, the countdown began. T-minus 10, 9, 8. His fingers tightened around the controls. 3, 2, 1. Lift off. The force pressed him into his seat as Earth shrank below. And then, silence. The deep, endless quiet of space. The pressure in his chest lessened as he adjusted to his new reality. He was inside a ship, but not like any he'd ever imagined. The walls pulsed gently like the breath of a sleeping giant. The controls were smooth, flowing like liquid metal beneath his fingertips. And outside the window, a vast ocean of stars stretching forever. A voice, soft, melodic, spoke in his mind. "Welcome, dreamer. You have been chosen." "Chosen for what?" Matthew asked, his voice calm but laced with curiosity. "To see what few have seen. To understand what few will ever know." The ship moved on its own, gliding effortlessly through the cosmos. Time lost meaning. Whether minutes or centuries passed, he couldn't tell. He leaned against the glass, watching galaxies spin like slow dancers in the night. The colors, violet, sapphire, gold, shifted and pulsed in a rhythm that matched his own heartbeat. He smiled. Well, hot damn. Out beyond Mars, the anomaly pulsed like a living thing. It wasn't just a tear in space. It was something else, something watching. His ship's systems flickered, time distorted. "McConaughey, we're losing you." The control room crackled in his ear, static, silence, then light. He awoke in a place unlike anything he had ever seen. Stars moved like liquid. Gravity bent in ways that made no sense. And then he saw it, a figure, neither man nor machine, waiting for him. "You seek purpose, traveler?" it asked, its voice an echo in his mind. "I seek the truth," Matthew replied. The being gestured, and suddenly he saw everything. Time, space, infinity itself. The weight of it nearly crushed him. "Humanity is but a whisper in the great expanse," the being said. "But a whisper can change the course of history." Matthew closed his eyes. He understood now. Then let me whisper something real good. The words he spoke weren't for ears alone. They were for the fabric of the universe itself, a truth not bound by language, but by feeling. A message carried on the currents of time and space, meant for those who would listen. Perhaps it was a promise. Perhaps it was a revelation. Maybe it was a simple, knowing laugh at the grand mystery of it all. Whatever it was, the stars shimmered in response, as if the cosmos itself had been waiting to hear it. For a long time, Matthew just floated, staring into the endless expanse before him. His mind stretched in every direction, unraveling the vastness of what he had just seen. The birth of galaxies, the rhythm of time, the whispers of civilizations long gone, and those yet to come. It was more than knowledge. It was a feeling, a truth so deep that no words could ever truly capture it. He thought about running to the first microphone he could find and spilling everything, telling the world about the beings of light, about the way time wasn't a straight line but a symphony, about how the universe itself seemed to hum with purpose. But he stopped himself. Some truths couldn't just be told, they had to be felt. If he returned to Earth and rambled about the secrets of existence, folks would nod, maybe even humor him. But would they really hear him? Would they feel it the way he had? He had to do this right. He had to plant the idea like a seed, let it grow in people's minds the same way it had grown in his. He had to make them wonder, make them look up at the night sky and feel the questions settle in their bones. A slow grin spread across his face. "All right," he murmured, his voice barely more than a breath. "Let's take this home." The ship reappeared in Earth's orbit. Mission Control erupted in cheers. He had made it back. Stepping onto solid ground again, he felt different, lighter, wiser. The press swarmed him. "What did you see out there?" He simply smiled. "Something beautiful. But it ain't just out there, you know. It's right here, too. In every breath we take. In every dream we chase." The world leaned in, waiting for more. Keep living, folks. Keep looking up. And with that, he walked off into the sunset, ready for the next adventure, whatever it might be. As Matthew would say, remember, the journey doesn't end here. Every step we take, every dream we chase, is part of something greater. So keep your eyes open, your heart full, and always look ahead to the adventure that awaits. Thank you so much for listening to today's story. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. If you liked the story, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing content. Your support means the world. Until next time, take care and keep dreaming.